working for you this morning with news stories you'll only see here on RTV6. One is about a construction project at a popular section of the Monon Trail. The other is about hiring Hoosiers and the efforts to help those battling drug addictions get jobs. First, our own Paris Lubell has a preview.
This morning, safety concerns over that construction project here on the Monon Trail and the planned detour for everyone who uses the trail. Now Call 6 Investigates is getting involved.
Plus, a side effect of battling drug addiction is finding a job. Many places requiring you to pass a drug test before you even start. How one Richmond plant is changing the status quo as they look to hire. We did that big traffic alert for drivers coming in from the east side in towards the downtown area. All lanes of westbound I-70 closed at Emerson Avenue right now.
RTV6's Paris Bluebell is live along the highway with a look at the damage and when we can expect the lanes to reopen. Paris, this will be impacting the morning commute.
That's right, Meredith and Lauren. The morning commute will be difficult this morning, especially here on I-70 heading westbound, as you said. So here's what happened. The scene behind me, a dump truck this morning, police say, was driving down the interstate. At some point, the dump actually came up and hit this electronic sign, which is now hanging over the interstate.
From the only station working for you, this is RTV6 Good Morning Indiana.
An ice storm warning in effect right now. It could mean a messy Thursday for your morning commute.
We have got team coverage from our Storm Team 6 meteorologists tracking the forecast, and we're checking our crews out on the roads right now. It is completely covered in ice out there this morning.
Yeah, and we're keeping a close eye on those school delays and closures. Actually, Todd, surprising to see a lot of those township schools right here in Indianapolis closing for today.
Yeah, you know,
Snow falling overnight in central Indiana will make for a messy commute. The road's just so cold, the snow isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, and we've got team coverage this morning out on the roads and then back here in the studio. We're tracking the traffic conditions, a number of school delays rolling in, and when these roads could finally be cleared.
Thanks for joining us here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Meredith Barrick. We want to start with
the men arrested in connection with the murder of a 1-year-old Malaysia Robeson expected in court today. What we're expecting to happen when they get before a judge.
You really wish that they would have some kind of guard around to possibly save a life.
Retention ponds can quickly become the site of a deadly accident. Drivers losing control, ending up in the water. What central Indiana communities are now doing to make things safer.
And a raining start to the week for many all across the country, especially here for subway riders in New York. Incredible video showing rainwater flooding the stations, providing a bit of an obstacle course for those looking to get on the train. That's not what you want to start your workday
and luckily the rain in our case and those snow flurries moving out. The sun is on its way.
It's really a niche that no one else is really hitting on in the Indianapolis market as far as healthcare goes. Just offer options that aren't a typical traditional cafeteria options.
Healthcare and hospital food doesn't exactly sound like our typical Food Friday story, but one Indianapolis hospital is changing the way they think about the food they offer.
That's right. Community East Hospital is taking a new spin and a local spin on their menu for the food at the new Bistro East Cafe. Now, the new cafe coming as the hospital undergoes a full remodel. Well, this was no accident. We're all wearing red for a reason today.
Yeah, February has arrived, and today we are going red in the fight against heart disease. 2018 arrived in Indiana with the usual cheers and excitement, but little did we know it may have started out with what could be the last IndyCar drop to ring in the new year. Organizers of the downtown event saying unpredictable weather is forcing them to cancel what had become a unique Hoosier tradition each new year.
Once the year got underway, Indiana quickly found itself in the national spotlight. In February, the death of a Colts linebacker and an Uber driver at the hands of an undocumented immigrant getting reaction from President Trump. Edwin Jackson and Jeffrey Monroe were hit when they were pulled over on I-70. Police arrested Manuel Orrega Zavala, who was driving drunk at the time of the crash. This summer, Orrega Zavala pleaded guilty and was later sentenced to 16 years behind bars. A federal case surrounding his immigration status is still pending. Yeah, these are some of the stories that everyone is sharing online that you're going to want to know about.
Despite a threatening lawsuit, a new 3-part documentary about singer R. Kelly began airing on Lifetime last night. The series of Surviving R. Kelly looks at claims of sexual misconduct and abuse that have been around for years. Last night brought up new allegations, including that R. Kelly began a relationship with Aaliyah when she was just 15 years old. Last year, there was an effort by a Time's Up group to end R. Kelly's involvement in the music industry.
President Trump checking out a new part of the White House. He made his first appearance at the podium of the briefing room. He gave a brief statement to reporters, but left before taking any questions. Daily briefings in the West Wing have significantly decreased under the Trump administration.
There may be some new members of Congress, but we promise they are not this young. Lots of kids spent the day on Capitol Hill watching mom, dad, or their grandparents get sworn in. Nancy Pelosi was surrounded by many of them as she took her oath of office. They didn't take an oath of office. And of course, because kids, there were a few laughs, like this boy who got carried away with a gavel and another girl who just couldn't contain her excitement.
Well, maybe he was just really hungry. A New York man is now facing criminal charges after a breakfast temper tantrum. We heard him there screaming, and it only got worse. Lots of things that we can't air on TV for you, but the final straw was him throwing things, including a basket at that worker. Well, police picked him up and charged him with assault.
Okay, I've been hangry, but I've never been that hangry.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
This next one, a much sweeter breakfast story. Earlier this week, we told you about the Kentucky cops devastated by the loss of all those Krispy Kreme donuts in a truck fire. Well, the company promised more on the way, and they delivered. The officers in Lexington getting to enjoy a donut breakfast this week. They also joked they appreciated the support for the donut-sized holes in their hearts.
I don't want to step on that stage and make that night about me and my past when you got people that have worked hard to step on that stage for the first time and receive an award.
And finally, Kevin Hart's sitting down with Ellen DeGeneres talking about the Oscar hosting mishap. Well, he stepped down after some homophobic tweets from the past came to light. The comedian once again said he'd already apologized for the jokes and hoped that people would move on, but he wanted to respect the Oscar nominees. DeGeneres said that she would like to see him back hosting. A rumor that's now buzzing around Hollywood. A replacement for Hart was never announced. Millers want every person who comes through the door to feel welcome in Fun Days. It's one of the reasons they recently started teaching their 20-person staff American Sign Language.
Our youngest daughter is 18 months old. She was born deaf, and for the last 18 months our family's been learning sign language. So we had our deaf mentor Jean come and teach our staff some basic signs.
Well, Jean meets with the Millers once a week, teaching them American Sign Language and about deaf culture. Jean says that she was thrilled when they asked her to help find some deaf artwork for the store, help design their t-shirts, and meet with the staff to teach them ASL.
When I mentioned to my deaf community about this, many of them were looking forward to coming here and checking it out, especially because of the deaf artwork and the people who can sign here, so they were very excited.
The latest song to make the pop chart.
Yeah, and it's one that may already have been stuck in your head for years now. If you have little kids, you're hearing it right now. We'll have that story coming up after the break here on Good Morning Indiana.